So these are the materials that you need for this project. You need some DK weight yarn in color pink and white or any colors of your choice. These are the colors I used. You also need a 5mm crochet hook. You need a scissors to cut your yarn. You need a darning needle and stitch marker. Stitch marker, especially if you're a beginner. You also need a satin ribbon. You actually need a 1/2 inch satin ribbon. I have 1 inch satin ribbon here, but I'm just going to cut that down the middle when I want to use it. So make sure you get a 1/2 inch satin ribbon. And finally, you will need a regular needle and thread. And you want to make sure that the color of your needle and thread is the same color as your ribbon. And you'll see the usefulness of that later on. But just get yourself some needle and thread. And yeah, that's all that we need. So let's get into it. First, we're going to make a magic ring. And to do that, you want to create a crisscross like this. And then grab onto that point where the crisscross is, and then you insert your hook into that loop and grab the working yarn. And now we're going to chain 2 to secure the magic ring, and then we're going to work double crochets into our magic ring. So to make a double crochet, you start by yarning over or wrapping the yarn around the hook, and then you insert it into that ring, and then you pull the yarn through. You grab some yarn and pull through 2 loops out of the 3 loops on the hook. Grab some yarn and pull through the remaining 2 loops on the hook. And there you've created a double crochet. We're going to make more of this, but first I'm going to mark that double crochet stitch because we're going to need to identify that when we come back. So make double crochets into the magic ring. And we're going to do 10 of these double crochets. So when you have 3 loops on the hook like this, you yarn over and you pull through 2 loops, and then you yarn over again and pull through the next 2 loops, and this is how you create a double crochet. So I'm going to make 8 more double crochets until we have 10 double crochets, and that would be the pattern for the first round of this project. So once you've completed your 10 double crochets like this, we are going to close this magic ring. So grab onto the tail end right there, and then we're just going to pull this until it closes up like so. Now insert your hook back into that loop, and then we're going to join this round to complete it. So we're going to insert our hook into that stitch that we marked, which is the first stitch of our round. So remove the stitch marker and then insert your hook into the top of that stitch, and then grab onto the yarn, pull it through that loop and pull it through the loop that is on the hook. And then we've just created a slip stitch to join our round. Now to create the second round, we start by making 2 chains. These 2 chains does not count as a stitch, it is just to give our work height. And now into that first stitch, we're going to make 2 double crochets, so that's an increase. So this is my first double crochet, and I'm going to make a second double crochet into the same stitch. So that's 2 double crochets into the first stitch. Go ahead and mark your very first stitch, and then we're going to continue to make 2 double crochets into all the stitches going around. 1 and 2. So just repeat this till the end of the round. So at the end of the round, you just want to take out the stitch marker, insert your hook into that first stitch and create a slip stitch to complete the round. So this is the end of the second round. Now we're going to make 2 chains to begin the third round. Yarn over and make your first double crochet into the first stitch. Then into the second stitch, we're going to make 2 double crochets. So we're increasing in the second stitch. Then we're going to make 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and then into the next stitch we're going to increase, that is, we're going to make 2 double crochets. So for this third round, the pattern you have to repeat is 1 double crochet and 2 double crochets. 1 double crochet and 2 double crochets. So you're basically making an increase in every other stitch. At the end of the round, don't forget to make a slip stitch to complete the round, and then we're going to work on the 4th round now. So chain 2 to begin your work, and then make 1 double crochet into the first stitch, and then 1 double crochet into the next stitch. Now in the 3rd stitch, we're going to make 2 double crochets. So this is 1 and then the 2nd double crochet. So the pattern for the 4th round is 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, and then 2 double crochets. And you want to repeat this until the end of the round. Make a slip stitch into your first double crochet of the round. To begin the 5th round, we start by chaining 2, and then we're going to make 1 double crochet into the first 3 stitches. So that's 1, and then 2, and then 3. And now I'm going to make 2 double crochets into the next stitch. That's 2. Now we're going to make 3 double crochets into the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to make an increase, so 2 double crochets into the next stitch. So this is the pattern to follow for the 5th round. So 3 double crochets and then an increase. And I'll leave the instruction on the screen for the next few rounds that you will work, so that this video is not too long. I'll also have a written pattern that I'll put a link to in the description in case you wanted to make this for a smaller size. This bucket hat I'm making is for an adult size, so if you wanted to make this for a teenager or say a child, my written pattern will contain the instructions for that. So I'll leave a link to that in the description box, so do check it out. So now we have completed our rows of increase. Okay, so now we're beginning to work on the body of the hat. This is the top of the hat that is complete. We're going to begin to work on the body. And the instruction is quite simple. You make your 2 chains and then make one double crochet, 1 double crochet into all the stitches, and then you slip stitch at the end. So for the next couple of rows, we're not going to increase. We're just going to work regular double crochets into all the stitches and then slip stitch at the end, and then repeat that for a number of rows. And this is going to help bring our hat down to create the body for it.